Hey guys, Coach Kirsten here, and I wanted to hop on really quickly because I meant to do this 3 days ago and I didn't, and just share a couple tips on how to set up MyFitnessPal app correctly. So I've been working with MyFitnessPal app for many years, and I've had a lot of clients and athletes that I coach that have also worked with it. And the reason I really like it is because the only time I've ever lost weight when I wanted to was when I tracked what I put into my mouth. If I don't track, then I forget half the things I eat, or I eat more than I thought I did. I ate more and thought I ate less. So like a quarter cup of nuts, which I thought I ate was really a half cup of nuts, which is like 200 calories more. And that all adds up. And then you don't lose the weight that you're trying to lose. And then you get frustrated and then you give up and say nothing works. So I think it's really important to track if you're wanting to lose weight, if nothing else, for a month, to become aware of how many calories and how certain foods affect you and how many calories are in certain foods, because a lot of times we have no idea. So for example, I used to eat about a cup of trail mix a day as a snack. So I would like put it in a baggie. It's when I still ate dairy. So it was the typical trail mix that was raisins, nuts, and M&Ms. And I don't even know if it was a cup. I just put a sandwich baggie and I would fill it up. It was probably even more than a cup at the time, maybe a cup and a half. So I would just sit and between my clients, I was a personal trainer, I would sit and take a couple bites, and it would keep me full, but I still ate my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but that was just kind of my snack. And I was gaining weight, and I'm a personal trainer, I'm working at a gym now, I'm working out a lot, blah, blah, blah. Why am I gaining all this weight? And I started tracking what I was eating, and I measured it, and I realized that snack that I was eating every single day was 1,200 calories. So it was like 1,200 extra calories that I was eating every single day. So eating 1,200 calories extra every day isn't going to help you lose weight. I'll just throw that out there. So anyway, I think it's just for awareness. It's important to track, and then you can make some choices. So for example, if you're like, if your goal is, 1,600 calories a day, and you're like, that's like 400 breakfast, 400 lunch, 400 dinner, 400 snack. There's 1,600. So it comes really quickly. So if you're like, every morning my breakfast is 800 calories and I'm not losing any weight, and all the other meals are 400 calories, you can look at your breakfast and be like, okay, what's adding all those calories? Because it could be something really simple, like you're putting a tablespoon of butter on your toast, and let's say you start doing a half a tablespoon of butter, so it's saving you 100 calories for that meal. Just things like that you might not have been aware of. Or I love pancakes, and I used to put a ton of peanut butter on every pancake, and I'd have 8 pancakes and 4 tablespoons of peanut butter, because a half tablespoon on every pancake, and I'd put syrup on it. So there's another, it's like a huge amount of food. And I realized my favorite part of that whole thing is the pancake. Like the peanut butter, I eat plenty of peanut butter and everything, so I don't need to add extra peanut butter during my day. And the syrup, I just liked it because it mixed well with the peanut butter. But I loved just the pancake. So I started eating just the pancakes plain. I like them just as much, and it was like a third of the calories. So it's just so you can make some decisions and decide what is worth the calories, because sometimes eating a pint of ice cream is worth 1,200 calories and sometimes it's not. So it's not for me to decide, it's for each of us to decide when we eat something like that if it's worth it. But if we don't even know how many calories the bag of chips is, we can't make that decision. So MyFitnessPal is great for tracking. They make it really easy these days because there's a barcode. You could just scan your food. Even pre-made food, I get a lot of pre-made food from Whole Foods, and I just scan it and it tells me exactly how many calories and proteins, carbs, fats, vitamins, minerals. So it'll tell you today I put in the rest of my lunch and it said, you just reached your protein goal for the day. So I already knew without even having count calories. Or I put in broccoli and they're like, this food is high in vitamin C. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. So it's very educational. But when you set it up, there's a couple things you need to keep in mind. Number one, you need to decide your goal, and it needs to be realistic, or else you're not going to be able to get your calorie goal. So if this is just my opinion, if you have 20 or more pounds to lose, a pound a week is great. If you have 20 or less pounds to lose, you might want to go for a half pound a week. So 20 pounds or more to lose to get to your ideal weight. You can decide what that is. A pound a week is very realistic. And anything less than that, I would do a half pound a week. And here's why. A pound a week of real fat loss is a deficit of 3,500 calories. So that is 500 calorie a day deficit for a pound a week. That's a lot. So you have to figure out, based on what you've been doing, where to cut out 500 calories a day. You can also work out more, but a lot of you guys are already working out. So you need to be realistic with your goals. So a half pound a week is 250 calories a day. That's a lot more realistic to find ways to cut here and there, like the butter thing or the peanut butter thing. Or don't eat a cup and a half of trail mix every single day. So that's number one. Figure out your goal, make it realistic, and that's what you're going to put in when you're setting up MyFitnessPal, because your calories is based on your weight, your gender, and your goal. So that's what they take into consideration. The other thing where people mess up is it asks you how active you are. And you have two options. If most of the people I work with are athletes, so they're very, very active, right? We train every single day. We consider ourselves active. But with MyFitnessPal, if you put in that you're very active, and then you put in all your put in all your exercise in your daily diary, then it's probably going to over calculate your activity level. So then you're like, I'm staying under my calories. How come I'm not losing weight? Well, you told them you're very active and you're adding your workouts. So to me, when you fill out where you are as far as activity level, that's without your workouts, unless you want to say you're very active and then you don't add in your workouts. But I think it's easiest and more accurate when you say what your activity level is minus your workouts. So if you work in construction, if you work manual labor, if you are 8 hours a day moving your body vigorously, I would put very active. Other than that, I would not. So I put in mine lightly active. I'm not inactive because I walk on the deck when I'm coaching, but I'm walking like super slow and my body's adapted to walking. So I wouldn't consider myself active outside of my workouts. So on MyFitnessPal, I put I'm lightly active because I'm on my feet a few hours a day, but not really exercising. Like I don't get out of breath. My heart rate doesn't get up. And then I add in my workouts. And then that offsets my food so that I can figure out what my calories are and are supposed to be. Hold on, my dog is going crazy here. I feel like he's looking for something, but what do you need, Joey? So anyway, that's the number one mistake I see people do is they say, I'm very active because they work out every day, but then they add in their workouts. So they're giving themselves too much credit for workouts, and then you're not going to lose the weight. Number two is I think a lot of people overestimate their intensity of their workout. So let's say you did a swim. Like a swim is a great example. So when I do a swim, I do like a 15-minute warm-up. I do like a 15-minute drill set. I'll do like a 15-minute hard set and then like a 15-minute cool down. During my hard set, I'm like, oh my God, that was so hard. So I finish my swim. I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm starving. That was so hard. So I go to MyFitnessPal. I'm like, I just did an hour of vigorous workout, a vigorous swim. But I didn't. I did 15 minutes of a vigorous swim, 45 minutes of an easy swim. So be realistic with how you just worked out, and also take into account that you might be very adapted to certain workouts. So when I put in cycling, like today I did 2 hours of cycling. I taught a cycling class that was 30 minutes long. And then an hour and a half, I literally was like on my phone, checking on my clients, checking my messages, posting a couple things on social media, spinning my legs. So in my 30-minute class, we did a warm up and a cool down. So I did like 20 minutes of vigorous cycling, not 2 hours of vigorous cycling. So make sure you take that into account. And I do a lot of cycling, so I think my body is very adapted to cycling. So my average over the 2 hours was 14 miles an hour on my little console on the Stages bikes, indoor bikes. So it said 14 miles an hour. I'm not going to put in that I did moderate. So in MyFitnessPal, a moderate cycle is like 12 to 14 miles per hour. I feel like I'm adapted to cycling, so I don't burn as many calories cycling as most people do. So I'm going to put in MyFitnessPal light to moderate, or whatever it says. It's 10 to 12 mile per hour. So I'm going to put in that I worked 120 minutes at a light cycling pace, 10 to 12 miles per hour. And then it gave me like 700 calories or something that I burned. That's realistic. And then I could be more exact with my food, realistic with my exercise. And that's when I lose my half pound a week that I'm trying to lose if I'm trying to lose. That's when I use MyFitnessPal if I'm trying to lose a couple pounds. So set it up, realistic goals, set it up with how your activity level is outside of your workouts, and then be realistic with your effort and your intensity of your workouts. And if you do those 3 things correctly and then stay right at your calorie goal, don't try to go under it, because it's calculated to lose your half pound a week. Try to hit your calorie goal. If you're a few over, a few under, that's fine. So if it's 7 o'clock and you still need 50 more calories, then eat a little snack with 50 calories. Eat an apple or eat a half a banana or something. Try to stay right at your calorie goal. And what I do, because if I just put my food and my workouts at the end of the day, I went like 1,000 calories over. Like I eat a lot. Like I just made this meal. I'm letting it cool while I do this video. It looks amazing, right? This is 800 calories right here. Okay, this is my dinner. It's 800 calories. I already know because I put this in the morning. When I got up, I put in all my meals, what I think I'm going to eat today, all my workouts, what I think I'm going to get in today. And if it doesn't balance out, I have time to change it. I did it in the morning. But if I get here tonight and I've just put everything in and then go open the app and I'm like, oh crap, I'm 1,000 calories over, there's nothing I can do about it. I guess I could get on my bike for 3 hours, but I'm not going to do that. It's like 8 o'clock at night and I've already worked out for 3 hours today. So I'm not going to do that. That'd be silly. The smarter thing to do is prep, plan in advance, put in all your stuff in the morning, and then you can make adjustments as needed. And then the final thing is, if you're an athlete and you're training for endurance, some days you're going to be working out like 4 hours and some days you're working out an hour. So if one day you're like 200 over and the next day you're 200 under, I would say focus on averaging over the week instead of focusing on day to day, because on the days that you're doing like a long ride or a long run and you're burning 1,000 or 2,000 extra calories, you can eat more, but you might not be able to eat that much more. And the next day might be a rest day where you're only doing like 30-minute easy spin where you're burning 100 calories. And then you're like trying to starve yourself to fit in that you're within your calories because you don't get that extra 2,000 calories for working out. So if you're an endurance athlete and training for something long where you're doing not consistent exercise, then just try to balance over the week. So kind of keep track. You can mentally or physically keep track. Oh, I was 400 over today because it was a rest day, but I know tomorrow I'm going to be 400 under because I'm doing a 3.5 hour run. That burns a ton of calories. That burns like 2,000 calories right there. So those are some tips to help you be successful with MyFitnessPal. Please, please, please reach out to me if you have any questions about this, or you still feel stuck, or you're still not sure what to do, or if this is confusing. It does take a lot of time up front to learn it, to figure it out, but you can put your meals you eat every day. You can copy meals from yesterday. You can copy meals for every Friday. You can put in your own recipes, like my oatmeal that I make every morning. That's already programmed in there with my oatmeal, my peanut butter, my syrup, the amounts. So all I do is if I eat a full serving, I just put in like my oatmeal recipe. I don't have to put in every single week that every single day, because I eat it every day, that I oatmeal, add syrup, add peanut butter. No, it's just my oatmeal. I just copy it every day. You just swipe, copies it, copies. So It's very simple, time consuming up front, easier as you go. It is a great tool. It works if you are trying to lose weight. And if you're part of our abs challenge that we're doing this month and you want to get oh, my dogs are about to go crazy, the 6-pack, or like be able to see your abs more, you got to lose the fat on top of the abs. You can't do a million crunches and lose that fat. It's losing overall fat from your body, which means losing weight. So any questions, reach out. Thank you for being here. I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.